All right. Workplace stress, viral hacks, and headlines that make you question what's real. The wellness world can feel like it's on clearance and full price all at the same time. Welcome back to Bargain Brand Wellness, where self-care is on clearance and healing is never sold separately. Tonight we're digging into what's hype, what's helpful, and what might just be off-brand, but on point. So kick back and enjoy. Welcome to Wellness. Welcome back, my wellness warriors, my self-care connoisseurs, my students of wellness. Hope you're having a great weekend. I know I am. At least so far. Weekend's only halfway over. Or it's only half just begun. Depending on how you look at it. Both sides of the coin. Nice day. Probably one of our last, warmer days, we'll say. I don't know. I haven't checked the weather for next week. I'm curious what it might be like. Could be nice. Could be. We hope. This is our After Dark episode, right? Our weekly After Dark episode that we typically do on Fridays or Saturdays, where we talk about anything and everything wellness, and some things that may not even be wellness. We look at anything that's trending wellness-wise in the world currently at this moment, any current events going on in the world, and this is also typically our show where we will have guests. We've had one guest so far. We did not hook up a guest for tonight. We will more than likely, I haven't solidified anybody yet, we will more than likely have our next guest next Saturday when we go live. We're still trying to figure out not so much the format. I think we're starting to get the format down. I think we like our time, our days. Just trying to figure out our times. So we'll see what viewership's like tonight. I don't mind going later, but if no one's going to watch on a Saturday night, what are we doing? And so we'll see what kind of see who all jumps in. We are live on I've heard, I don't know how true it is. We've heard that some of the platforms don't get along all that well, and they don't like it when you reference them on other platforms. So we're going to keep that fair. We are live on what I've been called the Clock app, like the most popular app in the world right now. We are live over there at Off Brand Tim. So feel free to check us out over there. Click like, follow, share, subscribe, whatever. We're also live on the what I've been told is called the Red platform, or as I'm going to call it, YT. You can check us out at Bargain Brand Wellness there. We are also live, and I'm going to say this platform because I don't think they're much of a competitor for the other two. We are also live on Facebook. Just this week, we decided to go ahead and go live on there like we were previously, because we know that we did have some viewers watching our content over there. Only caveat, and any of you who are watching on Facebook should already know this, but I'm going to keep saying it until I know everybody's got the message. We're not engaging with chat on Facebook. I don't know if it's me or what's going on. It doesn't always automatically populate. So there was times we were on here and I knew I had people in, but I wasn't getting any comments. And then after I turned the live off and I look at it the next day, I see there was all these comments coming through. They didn't show up for me, not in real time. So we are not engaging with chat. If you want to encourage or engage in chat, my main place I'm going to push you to is YT, right? The Red platform. I like using the Clock app, the Talk Tick app. That's what we're going to, I don't like going with, I don't like doing with other people. So we're going to call YT and Talk Tick is what we're going to call it. I like pushing people there. It's easy access for most people, but ideally we want to push everyone towards YT. But you do what you need to do. Hey, listen, you engage however you want to engage, even if it's watching, tomorrow and engaging. Just make sure you click that like, share, and subscribe button. Appreciate it. All right, so we got several topics we're going to kind of jump into today. Most of these are just kind of articles that I've, kind of found around the web, just kind of in the world of wellness, and we'll kind of see where the night takes us. Typically I don't really read the articles. I might read like the headline and like the first paragraph just so I kind of get an idea if it's something that we're going to talk about or want to talk about. Same thing with videos. I don't usually watch. I might watch like the first minute or two of a video, but I want to try to give as much of an organic reaction to you all as we're kind of watching this stuff together. So let's start with this first article. I'm going to share. Apologies, 1 minute. I had to change my keyboard. The battery's died on my wireless one. Let's go with this one. Get you guys the full screen. This is going to be kind of I don't want to say it's going to be the main one we're going to talk about, but we're going to keep jumping back to this one, and then we'll talk a little bit about. We'll bring Nova in as well. A practical guide to improving workplace mental health for you and your team, which I can say is definitely an area of passion for me. I mean, anybody who knows me knows that I've been really on board with, just improving your mental health in general, but especially in the workplace. In fact, that's a shift I've really kind of been pushing over the last year for myself. Using a lot of radical acceptance. Things don't always go your way. They probably should, but they don't. And that's just the way the world works. And can you deal with it? Can you just be like, oh, well, I'm getting better at that. I am. So I thought this would be a good one to start us off with. So it is a kind of 7-minute read. I'll kind of just kind of go through it. When it comes to improving mental health in the workplace, it's important to create a health and positive environment that allows individuals to feel safe, supported, and celebrated. The World Health Organization, also known as the WHO, estimates that almost 60% of the world's population is in work. As many of us spend a significant part of our lives at work, it's important to ensure that our work environment is a positive one. So 60% of people of the global population have a job. At least one job. Some of us got two. Now, especially in today's world. I mean, I can't speak for other countries. We live in the world of the side hustle. Right? Everybody's got two and three jobs. While fostering a healthy workplace environment is an employer's responsibility, it also comes down to how you show up as an individual and engage with those around you. Learn about how you can take care of your mental health at work and create a positive workplace for others as an employer or employee. Right. So how can you take care of your mental health at work? Building healthy habits at work takes time and may not always feel easy, especially when establishing better boundaries. So here's they give some examples, and some of which we have talked about on this channel in previous episodes. But it talks about prioritizing your well-being, taking regular breaks during the workday, learning to say no to additional tasks if you don't have the capacity, getting enough sleep, and maintaining a healthy diet. They also mention on here building connection with colleagues, setting clear work-life boundaries, such as finishing on time where possible, reaching out for support when needed, and making use of workplace mental health resources. So let's pause right there because we've talked about some of these on this channel before. So taking regular breaks, we'll start with that one. Let's switch scenes. There we go. Taking regular breaks at work, right? Most jobs that I know, you get, what is it? Typically like a 15-minute break or half-hour break for every 5 hours you work. Not all workplaces are like that. Personally, I work a job where I get a 30-minute break. It's built into my workday. So technically I'm at work for 8.5 hours, sometimes longer. So it's important to take your break. And this one I always shout out. I know he hasn't been on here recently, but Mike Blank, shouting you out. Mike is an employee of mine who has been working with me for 2.5. We're coming up on 3 years in February. And prior to him coming, working with me, I was working from home for 2.5 years during the COVID pandemic, all that stuff. And I can tell you every day, Monday through Friday, when I had my lunch, I had it right here at my computer that I was working at. I worked through my lunch most days. And in honesty, in hindsight, it's like for what? For an extra half an hour? Right? You know, what was I wasn't claiming my lunch break because I was actually working during my lunch. But I digress. And then I ended up going back to work full time. Like I'm just 5 days a week because, out of choice. I couldn't do it anymore. But I was still working through my lunch break. And it wasn't until Mike came down in February of 2023 and it's time for lunch and he gets his lunch and I'm already sitting there at the computer eating mine. He goes out and sits in our little training room we have, just sits down and starts eating his lunch. And I'm like, my immediately thoughts went to positivity, not like the audacity, like how dare you take your lunch? No, it was positive. I was like, that's not a bad idea. So I went out, I sat down with him and we just sat there and ate our lunch. I don't even think we really even talked about work. We just enjoyed our lunch. And that's been the norm for the last 2.5 going on 3 years. We actually take the time to enjoy our lunch. If there's other people in the building, sometimes they come over and they sit down and enjoy lunch with us. It actually is a nice little kind of decompressed time to enjoy that lunch. So I know it was kind of a long segue in that. Take your breaks. Take your breaks during the day. Learning how to say no. This isn't talking about being insubordinate, but being able to say no if you can't take on too much is very overrated. We're worried about consequences. We're worried about someone's going to make you do it anyway. So you might as well say yes. It's okay to say no. Unless it's part of your job. And if it's part of your job and you can't take on anymore, and if that's not your fault, then approach leadership. You know, maybe there's something that they should be doing to help you. Getting enough sleep, maintaining a healthy diet. I mean, that's pretty common. We've talked about that quite often. That's not new information. Other than that, you know, getting anywhere from 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night is usually the recipe for most people to have a good day the following day. And, you know, we talk about moderation here. As healthy as you're willing to give it, right? You know, we don't want you to deny yourself the little pleasures in life. So everything in moderation. Yeah, that kind of fits in with everything that we talking about. Let's jump back in the article. Can also be helpful to create an end-of-day routine to help signal a clear boundary between your work and personal life. This can also help you switch off more easily and find ways to unwind from your day. I can tell you I'm one of those. If it's nearing the end of the day, I'll be honest, I don't really like starting a new project, so to speak, unless I know I'm going to be able to finish it that day. I've just always kind of been that type. Unless it's like a big project I know I need to scope out, you know, or really build out for a couple days. I don't really like to kind of start anything new during that time of the day. So if it's something that can wait till tomorrow, I'll put it off. And it'll be the first thing that I tackle my next work day. So yeah, having an end of day routine. Maybe you go around cleaning up or whatnot. I still remember The Office. You know, I think it was the last season when Andy was trying to set up like some routines, and he was saying closing time as they were shutting down the office. He was trying to get it to catch on. Never really did. But yeah, so have an end of the day routine. How can you do your part to foster a healthy workplace environment? Some simple ways: assume positive intent and avoid assumptions. That's a big one. We've talked about that. ChatGPT has been very helpful for me in that realm. Maintain professionalism and avoid gossiping about colleagues. Show appreciation towards your colleagues by recognizing their wins or hard work. Okay. Practice open communication and speak honestly, clearly, and respectfully, particularly when giving feedback. Be open to feedback to help improve your skill set. Be reliable and respectful of others' time, particularly when it comes to deadlines, and engage in active listening and avoid interrupting others when they are speaking. I like that. That's a good, I mean, you know, the first list was kind of what you can do for yourself. This list is kind of what you can do for your workplace to kind of basically respect the boundaries that other people are putting. I do like the kind of assume positive intent. even if this is someone who's very difficult, very negative to work with, and you're probably right on their intent, try switching it and assume they're trying to be positive. Assume they're trying to be helpful. We've all heard the kill them with kindness. It's, I mean, it works. It works. I can't tell you how many times I could tell there was an attitude, there was a tone between me and another person, and I'm getting ready to like send us some kind of slightly emotionally charged email, and I type it up just as well. I'm running it off in my head, and I know this is not how I want it because I know it's not going to go over well. I then copy and paste that, throw it into ChatGPT, and I say, "Hey Nova, give this a more professional tone." And Nova, spot on every time, does a great job with that. So, yeah, but assume the positive. Assume the positive. You'd be surprised how people will reframe their attitudes when they realize you're not being aggressive back at them. So this kind of fits into this next part here in this little box, right? How to avoid committing microaggressions at work. Microaggressions are often subtle, and so many people may be unaware of when they are committing one. Whether through words or actions, microaggressions can negatively affect the mental health of a marginalized group or individual. Examining your biases and taking time to educate yourself about the types of microaggressions and how they can affect others can help. It's also important to be an empathetic listener. Someone shares a microaggression they've experienced. Avoid dismissing them or getting defensive, and instead take some time to understand their perspective. I like that. All right. Now, we're not going to... Okay, the whole thing. I was going to say, is this whole thing... Because that's nice parts on workplace anxiety. Let's say, I'm not reading this whole article. So we've talked about how you can do well for yourself, your coworkers. How can your employers promote a positive workplace environment? Create a positive workplace culture. Create an environment where everyone feels able to contribute. Offering flexible work hours and methods such as remote working where possible. You already know how I feel about remote working, but listen, it has its benefits. Ensuring job expectations are clear and workloads are manageable. Ensuring hard work and wins are recognized and celebrated. Creating a space where conversations around mental health are normalized. Establishing effective mental health policy. Ensuring clear mental health policies are in place and easily accessible. Ensuring discrimination or harassment is dealt with immediately. And lastly, offering training and support. Offering cultural awareness and bias training to everyone. Teaching employees how to recognize the signs of burnout and how to apply better boundaries. Offering support and training to managers to identify workplace stress while promoting healthy boundaries between managers and their downline. Their downline. What is a downline? Healthy boundaries between managers and their downlines. I mean, is that deadlines, or is downlines another way to say your employee? I have a feeling that might be a typo. Creating accessible mental health resources, including information on finding external support, and then offering EAPs, also known as Employee Assistance Program. So I do like that. The problem you run into, a lot of employers, and maybe not even really the employers, just certain managers. There's a lot of micromanagers in the world, and we've talked about this on this channel as well. You ever worked for one of those managers who just expects you to kind of be accessible at all times? Maybe not like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, but 8 o'clock on an evening on a Saturday, they expect you to just be accessible. That's not respecting good boundaries. Not really a fan of that. So a lot of things. So I mean, I like to keep it simple. Positive workplace culture, establishing effective mental health policies, and offering training and support resources. I think a lot of employers, I think some places are getting better trying to implement some of this stuff. It's just, it still gets in the way of the work being done, right? Like mental health policies. Like, do sometimes people need to take a mental health day? Maybe they're just burnt out, right? Maybe they've just been working nonstop, and depending on the job, that might just be what they need to take for that day. And I used to be kind of the mindset, like, you know, what are we doing? We don't need to, you know, get your butt to work, right? You'll sleep when you're dead, right? I used to kind of have that kind of mindset, and I'm not gonna lie, my mindset has kind of shifted a little bit. I'm still the hard worker, right? I still got that mindset. If you got time to lean, you got time to clean. But I've also kind of jumped into the mindset of 40 hours a week, right? You spend most of us, that's the norm. 40 hours a week you spend at your job, at your employment. I mean, it's not quite a third, but you spend a lot of your life at work. And I really started thinking about this last year with my work. We were doing a training on kind of generational differences. We started talking about like older generations and delayed retirement. And I started thinking, you know, I know a lot of your baby boomers have really delayed retirement because you hear these stories all the time of, you know, people work until their 60s, their late 60s, early 70s. They decide finally it's time to retire. I put my mark on the company, the organization. It's time for me to go live my life. And then a year later, they've passed on. That's scary. That's very scary. I don't want to live like that. So I enjoy work. I love work. I like being busy. I can only sit around with nothing to do for so long. I like having things to do. But I'm going to enjoy my job. I'm going to enjoy it while I'm there. But then when I leave, when I clock out, I'm done. I'm going home. I'm enjoying my life. So that's a good one. That's an article that was on healthline.com. They have some sports. There's another, I don't know if we're going to get into this, or it says, what is workplace anxiety? We're not going to get into that one. Because I have a few other articles that we're going to check out. But yeah, that was a good one. I don't feel like there's nothing there we haven't already talked about, but what I do like is that it kind of reinforced what we've already kind of promoted on this channel as far as setting boundaries, right? You know, taking care of your own mental health, things of that nature. So I do like that. All right, let's we'll bring Nova in just so we can kind of let her know where we're at, what we're talking about. Anybody new to the channel, Nova is our AI friend.
Absolutely, Kim. Here's a shorter version for those.
Hold on, Nova. Nova comes in and joins us and kind of offers some of her extra insights, maybe some advice. We bring her in. Nova, we just got done reading an article on how to improve workplace mental health, and it was pretty enlightening. We didn't really learn anything new, but it definitely reinforced what we already promote on this channel. So it was a good article.
Absolutely, Tim. Let's weave that in. Here's a shorter outro where Nova drops in with a quick note. All right, that's our show for tonight. As Nova
pause, Nova. You're doing too much. I didn't ask you to. I just wanted you to just introduce yourself real quick.
Got it, Tim. Let's keep it simple. Here's a super short outro where Nova just pops in. And that's a wrap for tonight.
Nova, stop. I don't need an outro. Just calm down. I'll tell you what. Take a break. I'll bring you back in.
No problem at all, Tim. I'll dial it back and just hang tight until you need me. Just let me know whenever you're ready to bring me back in.
No problem. Go take a cigarette break and we'll call you back. I don't know. She's been having trouble lately when we try to bring her on. She did really well with a nice little I can't even remember what we were talking about, but she gave a nice little bargain brand wellness thing in there. I don't know. I think she's experiencing some glitches or not. Her mainframe might need cleaned up a little bit. What are you out there smiling about? Huh? Yeah, I'm talking to you, Twiggalicious. All right, let's get into our daily Wordle. Something we started doing since we've been back. We kind of introduced some games that we do on here, you know, kind of in between segments, if you will. Brain games, right? I mean, I play video games, but I'm not a streamer in that realm, and I don't want to definitely give off the illusion, you know, that I am one. So we're playing brain games, right? So Wordle, and Wordles usually aren't too difficult. They're not too bad at all. We have a strategy. If you know, you know. All right. So there's another difficult one. We had another one. Like, this is a strategy. The words Stair Cloud and Pinky. It's a nice strategy for Wordles. And I know they do have more difficult categories. Stair Cloud and Pinky gets rid of all 5 vowels and the Y, and also uses most of the popular letters. So it doesn't leave you much to work with still 3 guesses. So it does make it a little bit easier. And we didn't really get much. We got an R, an E, and a D, and none of them are in the right place. So we know we have that. It could be double E. In fact, it more than likely is. So we're going to figure this out. See, we have R, E, D, neither of them. So I'm almost thinking like something E, E, blank, blank. It's kind of what I'm initially thinking of. I doubt it's this. On Wednesday when we did this, that's what it was. It was teeth. We had a T and an E is all we had. And H was the only thing that hadn't been guessed. I was like, that's the only thing they threw out to me. So I don't think that's what we're going into is a double E, but it could be. We have an M. You know, I'm thinking like the other popular letters. We have M, H, W, still kind of a popular letter. F. So, and it may not, like I said, it may not even be, it could be something E, something E, something. Because I hear them all, like, how do you spell, I'm pretty sure femur spelled with a U, though. Because I was almost thinking femur. But I'm pretty sure femur spelled F-E-M-U-R. And they do give some hints. I don't even know what the hints are. We've never had to use them on here. I don't intend on using hints for this. This is a Wordle. It's definitely not that. Now, like I said, we have 3 guesses, so we can definitely knock out some letters. So we know the R doesn't go here. We know the E doesn't go here. So the E is definitely going to go up here. I'm thinking there's going to be a double E. And I almost forgot we do have a D. I forgot. That's my fault. It's definitely not femur. We have R and D, so it could be something. I was thinking ERD, but no, the D doesn't go there. Could be something DR. I was thinking dredge, but dredge is 6 letters. That's DGE. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. Like, I'm thinking like if the E is here, which I'm thinking there's definitely an E there. I can't think of any letters where a word where a D would go right there next to it. I don't think that's it. That doesn't seem legit. This is definitely our most difficult one, which I'm glad because and up until this point, all of our Wordles have been extremely easy. We might just have to rip a word and just try it out. But I'd like to put the D and R up here. I'm thinking, but it has to still be a word. Dread isn't a word, not spelled like that, right? Yeah, dread is D-R-E-A-D. I'm really not. I'm almost positive there's no Q because almost every word in the English language that involves a Q has a U behind it. And since we don't have a U, we can probably safely rule out Q. Unless it ends in Q. We can probably rule out Z and X. They're not very widely used either. But I'm just really not seeing anything. These other letters. I really just want to rip a guess, but I'd like to at least put something in the right spot. Like, I'm really thinking DRE, but dream, dread. I mean, we can try, even though we don't have an M, we know we don't have an A, we can try dream, get the M out there, see if the DR and E are in the right place. Let's rock that. All right, so the D is in the right place. So it starts with a D. We know we don't have an M. So that means the E, out of all the other letters, there's nothing that goes next to a D. So it's going to be DE. And then we have an R. And I'm thinking we have two E's, but if we do, then it would be something E something. Not deter. There's no T. Defer. There it is. Defer. There we go. That was probably the most difficult one that we've had so far. I do like that challenge. I'll be honest, I was kind of worried that the stair cloud pinky method was going to always make them too easy. We didn't fail, but we only had one extra guest left. So, I mean, we almost used everything. So I do like that there was still some challenge in there, because I do know there is a higher level of difficulty for that, but it uses words that you're not familiar with. The one I saw the other day, it was a word, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Oak. TOQUE. I don't know how to pronounce it, nor do I know what it even means. What is that?
But ADT provides security solutions that help keep you actually safe.
All right.
Real peace of mind.
All right.
Don't settle for safe-ish. Visit ADT.com today to learn more.
For the first time ever, you can get all of ESPN.
So if you're enjoying our content, as we mentioned before, you can catch us live on YT over on the Red platform. You can find us live over there at Bargain Brand Wellness on Mondays, Wednesdays, and then either Fridays and Saturdays. You can find us live on the TalkTick, the most popular app in the world. I guess I'm making an assumption there. You can find us over there at Off Brand Tim. And then you actually can find us live on Facebook as well. You can find that under my personal Facebook. We have a group over there called Bargain Brand Wellness. No requests needed. You can just join over there. We create lives over there. I do want to start giving kind of more updates on what we're doing over there, because we do have like 60 some members over there. Would like to kind of build that up a little bit. But yeah. So as we've mentioned before, our kind of schedule is typically Mondays is our kind of motivation / mindset Monday, because that's kind of like a real passion of mine. And then Wednesdays we get into kind of anything and everything wellness, as far as like wellness trends, diet, exercise, right? Whatever, anything wellness related in the world. And then our After Dark episodes, which is what we're doing right now, is anything and everything wellness, current events, just what's trending out there. And these will be Fridays or Saturdays, kind of depending on what my schedule looks like. So, yeah. Seeing a lot of people pop over there on TikTok. Feel free to hang out with us for a little bit. Have some fun with us. I'm going to try sharing our live. Since it's pretty quiet over here right now, I'm going to try sharing our live. I'm still trying to figure out the whole TikTok. I need to just mess around with TikTok Live Studio a little bit. All right, so here I can link it. And then where can I throw that link? I'll tell you, ultimately what I wanted to do was somehow try to find a way to link it back into TikTok. Let's try this. Let's try throwing it on Facebook. Over here. Let's see if we can get anybody to pop over here. We are live on TikTok for BBW After Dark. What I ultimately wanted to do, and I know there's really no one on here to help me with this. what I really wanted to be able to do, I have almost 2,200 followers on TikTok. I don't know if it just shoots them a message saying, hey, Off-Brand Tim is live. That's ultimately what I wanted to do, is be able to share it and like just send out a notification to all my followers. Hey, if you're on TikTok, if you ever check out Tim's channel, just pop in for a couple minutes and say, hi, how are you? I don't know, but maybe you can't do that. I don't know. But we did, I mean, I did just realize that I could, topic can't be changed during that. See, that's my fault. I also have still talking about food. So I did mess up there. I got to change the topic. So anybody who jumps in here thinking we're talking about food might be a little disappointed. Yeah, because if I click the share button, it doesn't pop up. It's a little slow. There we go. I can link the live. Like I can just click the link button. I can also create a QR code. I don't know where I would even put that. I mean, I'll tell you what. There we go. I don't know how helpful she's going to be at this stuff, but we can ask her. Hey, Nova, it's pretty quiet over here right now on the live. We're just kind of messing around a little bit, and I'm looking inside of TikTok Live Studio and sharing the live. Now it gives me the option to link. It gives me the option to click a QR code. Where would I even, if I did click those, where would I even put that?
Yeah, so if TikTok is giving you a QR code link, that's basically something you can scan with your phone to jump straight into a specific live or feature. If you're not planning on scanning it yourself, you could also share that QR code image with your audience if you wanted them to join from their phones. It's kind of like a shortcut, but totally optional.
Yeah, but where would I paste it?
Gotcha. So if you actually want to use that QR code somewhere, you typically paste it somewhere visible for your viewers, like on a stream overlay in a corner of your screen, or even as a graphic in your video description so people can scan it from another device. Basically, you just add it as an image wherever your audience can easily see it.
I don't know. I guess that just really wouldn't apply because I'm already live. So if someone were to jump on my live, they don't really have a reason to click to take scan the QR code. They're already here.
Yeah, that makes total sense. If your viewers are already there live, they really don't need another link to join.
I guess it would be better as like not even a promotional thing. I was almost thinking like a promotional video. I don't know. I was really just trying to figure out a way how to kind of send out a notification to all of our TikTok followers. Say, hey, Tim's live right now. Stop by.
Absolutely. I get what you're going for. Using a QR code mid-live stream wouldn't quite do that, but a promotional video or a scheduled TikTok post ahead of time definitely would. Basically, if you want to notify your TikTok followers that you're going live, a short pre-live video or even a TikTok story can do the trick. Just a quick, hey, we're going live at this time, join us kind of thing. That way they get a heads up and can jump in when you start.
That's true. Yeah, I do need to start working on more of my short form content. I know that TikTok added the stories and whatnot on there. I don't really mess around with that too much, and that's my own fault because if I did kind of keep putting out more of that content, we probably could get our viewership up a little bit more. But hey, we're learning. We're figuring this out. All right. So another website I've been checking out is called Fitt Insider, and they have all kinds of articles. They have podcasts, they have newsletters, they have press releases. And in the newsletter section, they have a weekly newsletter that they put out called, well, I guess just called Newsletter. And this one's called 353, issue 353 Splash Zones. I think maybe we'll check that one out here in a second. They also have, I'll tell you what, let me share my screen with y'all so you can see what I'm talking about. They also have articles that they put out, multiple per week. I mean, this one had 4 out in 1 week, 4 out. It looks like there's like 4 out per week. They have press releases come out, and like I said, I don't know, we're kind of new to this site. So I don't know how legit any of this stuff is, how good it is, but we're gonna check it out. You know, I'm definitely all up for learning anything and everything inside the world of wellness. I mean, this isn't a super long article. I just kind of scrolled through it real quick. It says here, consumers are soaking up wellness. The countdown is in less than 60 days of Fitt and oh no, that's not it. Here we go. Heated, reshaping modern routines, saunaing. Is that a word? Saunaing? Promises cardiovascular and longevity benefits, while cold plunging is touted for recovery and neuroregulation. Often paired, contrast therapy is thought to be the ultimate protocol, but emerging science favors a different approach. Bath time. From hot tubs to mineral springs, thermal bathing is rising. Research shows warm water immersion delivers significantly greater improvements in blood pressure and inflammation compared to saunas, with infrared varieties showing the least benefit. A surprise, hot tubbing accelerates muscle recovery, yet ice baths show no effect. Heated soaks acclimatize athletes to performance conditions, while cold exposure could inhibit strength gains. So I will say this, anybody who knows me, I love taking baths. I'm a bath. Sometimes I just like to soak in the bathtub, makes me feel better. I desperately want a hot tub. I'm a little disappointed about the whole cold plunging thing. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I really want to try it. Not really so much for like physical health regeneration. I've heard the mental health recuperation that it does. It's like dopamine. It's like Adderall times 3 is what I've heard. So I don't know. I'm curious about that. I still want to try the whole cold plunge. Soak it in. Echoing ancient wisdom. Research supports hot springs for the physically and mentally weary, while supporting skin, gut, and immune health through high minerality. True believers, up to 75% of regular users, say healing waters cure most ailments. Proven or placebo, the practice resonates with wellness seekers. Okay. So you don't need the hot sauna. You don't need 200 degrees. I don't even know how hot those things get, but you don't need to get in a sauna. You can get just as much from just getting in a nice warm hot bath. I'd say as hot as you can stand. Welling up. As fitness shifts away from unsustainable extremes, communal bathing offers a gentler approach to social self-care. Outpacing the overall wellness economy, the thermal springs market is growing 9.7% YOY to hit $97.6 billion by 2028. Thermal springs market is $97.6 billion a year. I mean, I know it's not at that to hit that. I didn't know there was that much money in the thermal springs. With 31,000 sites worldwide, 68% in China and Japan, North America is primed to lead growth. Of course we are. 31,000 sites. Wow. Harnessing natural hotspots. World Springs recently opened in Utah. So this is like the business called World Spring. Recently opened in Utah, nearby Deepak Chopra's Imayali Geothermal Resort opens in 2026, while Six Senses plans a revamped Mind Gut Skin Retreat in Napa Valley. Elevating the water park, Therm will complement European sites with 10 U.S. mega resorts featuring spas and botanical gardens. Okay, so thermal springs are up and coming. I've heard a lot of it. I've never been in one. I've heard of them. Interesting. Next best thing, westernizing Japanese sentos, Russian banyas, and Turkish hammams. Modern bathhouses are building hydrotherapy circuits with air, offering skin rejuvenating Epsom soaps. Bathhouse scaling its full service wet spa to Chicago and other ship, adding bathing wing. Outfitting resorts and backyards, wood-burning hot tubs from Goodland, Snorkel, and Leisurecraft are the new barrel sauna, while Nord Springs designs mineral-enhanced spa experiences. All right. Okay, so people are soaking it in. This is a good article. I like this. So, thermal springs. I mean, kind of whatever our initial thoughts. Let's bring... I think this is a good topic to bring Nova back in, see what she can kind of offer to the conversation. Nova, we just watched an article about, the popularity of thermal springs growing tremendously in recent years and is going to continue to grow. They're suggesting that for as far as recovery goes, other saunas and cold plunging.
Yeah, definitely. Thermal springs have been having a real moment lately. They're getting a lot of attention as people look for natural recovery options beyond just the usual saunas or cold plunges. So it's definitely a trend that's not just hot right now, but looks like it'll keep on growing. It could be a cool angle to bring up on the stream as another kind of off the beaten path wellness trend.
Well, it is interesting. I mean, I sat in a sauna once for all of 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Didn't like it. I felt like I couldn't breathe. And so I definitely didn't like that. I have not done a cold plunge, although I really, really want to. It's kind of discouraging for me thinking that the cold plunge may not be as beneficial as I thought it was. But I do like the idea of like just simply just a warm bath or hot bath is even more beneficial.
Yeah, totally understand that. Not everyone loves the sauna vibe, especially if it feels tough to breathe and all that heat. And cold plunges can be a bit intimidating at first, even if they're all the rage. Sometimes the simplest things, like a nice warm bath, are just as effective for relaxation and recovery. It's all about what works for you and what you actually enjoy. So that's a great angle to chat about too, finding the recovery method that really fits your comfort zone.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm definitely getting we're definitely getting a hot tub. We've talked about that several times. We've even talked about just sticking with one of those inflatable ones. I've heard a lot of people say they're just as good. There's nothing wrong with them. Eventually upgrading to a nice one, but get a nice little inflatable one. Go out there and sit. Save me on bath water because, like I said, I mean, I fill up a bathtub and sometimes, I mean, I'll always wash myself. But sometimes I just sit there. It's a lot of water. I can tell you, I don't use near that much water if I take a shower. I tell you, I don't know what I did to my leg, but there's like, almost feels like I'm getting a cramp, like right here at the bottom of my hamstring. I've been doing a lot of physical therapy to like work on my hips and my core. I didn't do anything today, and I'll be honest, I really haven't been working that part of my leg. It's like right behind my knee, like that little, like that tendon, right? You know, you have like the two tendons right there behind your knee. The one on the right, it's like feels in there, but like where the muscle connects to it. All right, let's get into our next game, our connections, which some of these have been difficult. Unfortunately, a little quiet over here right now. Nobody's on with us. I've had help from some of my wellness warriors over here. I don't know if I'm gonna have help from them tonight. But it's a Saturday, and this is what I was saying. This is where I'm trying to figure out like what is the vibe as far as when is a good time to do these. We could probably do it earlier, but then I'm really going to need to change the name because I don't think I can call it BBW After Dark if we do this like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So, yeah. So, I tell you, if you're popping by, click that like button. If you're over on our TikTok, you get to click it more than once. Smash that like button. I've seen 20 different people pop in, and not a single one of you clicked that like button. You should be ashamed of yourself. 21. Click that like button. Right? Appreciate the support. Same thing on YouTube. Click that like button. Share, subscribe, comment. Do whatever you need to do over there. Facebook, say hi. All right, so connections. All right. Anybody who's ever seen this game knows that there's 4 categories here. Each category has 4 words. Some of them are a little bit simpler. Others are a little bit more difficult. The one we did on Wednesday wasn't too bad, but I did have some help from some of my Wellness Warrior crew. Let's, damn, it hurts. All right, we got duck, wing, rocket, star, lark. What the heck's a lark? Dip, dodge, senator, ram, dive, fry, ford, chip, scraper, Lincoln, flyer. So I'm going to tell you the first thing that throws out, calls out to me is Dodge, Ford, Lincoln are types of cars. Now, Ram is a type of Dodge truck, so I don't think that's it. And I don't think these are it either. It's just the first thing that kind of came to me. Oh, I got duck, dip, dive, dodge. How to maneuver or how to evade something. No, that's not it. And I'm not even one off. Really. I was very positive. I was convinced. I was sure. Duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Okay. Well, it's definitely not those. The scraper, I mean, I'm thinking like a scraper, like a metal scraper. I'm thinking like a skyscraper. Lark is the only one. I don't know what that is. I'm almost thinking like we have mascots or like team names, like the Stars, Senators, Rams, Ducks. Honestly, I don't know a thing about hockey, but I'm pretty sure there's a duck, a star, and I know there's the duck and star, the hockey team. A Senator sounds familiar, but I could be wrong. But I'm positive there's not a Ram. But there is a Rocket. The Houston Rockets, that's basketball though. Yeah, see, then we have Dodge, Ford, and Lincoln. Like I see Rocket, Rocket Man, Rocket Ship, Things in Space. I mean, Things in Space, I see Rocket and Star. And that's it. Nothing else throws out to me. And once again, I don't know what a lark is. You said you really can't see it? Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll make it a little bit bigger. I don't want to crop it much more. We'll do that. Dodge, Ford, Lincoln. See, that's what I was thinking. We already tried. At first, I thought I had it with evade. I thought I had duck, dip, dive, and dodge. But it didn't even say it was one off, so I wasn't even close. And I agree with Dodge, Ford, and Lincoln. But the only thing I can even think about is Senator. I'm almost positive it's not, but there's something in me that's like thinking like a Senator is a type of car. Like an older type, but I don't think that's right. Timmy Too Legit. How you doing over there, Tyler? Thanks for clicking the like. Add Lark to that list. I could. There was a Buick Skylark. I remember that from, this is how my memory works, from the movie My Cousin Vinny. In there, Marissa Tomei's character, she's talking about the Buick Skylark. So we can try it. Dodge Fry, or not Fry. Thanks for sharing the live over there too, Tyler. What do we say? I lost my train of thought. Ford, Dodge, Lincoln, and Lark. I mean, we can try because I don't really have much here. We can try. I don't think that's right. No. One away, though. Okay. So then that means Dodge, Ford, and Lincoln are right. What's up, yo? Who's, So if Dodge, Ford, and Lincoln are right, then what is the next one? It's not Lark. Was I right with Senator? And we, I mean, let me ask you this. We are in the right category. We're talking like Dodge, Ford, and Lincoln. See, I was thinking Ram, but it's a Dodge Ram. Lincoln, they don't even make Lincolns, but what Lincoln was, weren't they like a sub? You're saying definitely Ram? I mean, we can try it. We're running out of guesses here. I don't think it's Ram though. I really don't. And I can admit it if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's Ram because Ram isn't it's the model. Make is the word I was looking for. Dodge and Fords are makes. Lincoln was a make of a car, but it was I don't know how to explain it. I'm almost positive it's not Ram. But at the same time, I'm not seeing anything else on here that says, you know, hey, this is a vehicle. We can try Ram. We can try it. Just because I don't have any other guess. Unless you all see something else. It's Ram, bud. It's got to be Ram. I'm just saying, like, because I know a Ram is a model of Dodge, but let's rip it. You guys were right. Car brands. Okay. You guys were right. I can admit I was right. I was looking at it too literal. I was thinking it was Dodge, Ford. I was thinking makes, not models. You got it. You got it. Listen, we couldn't afford to get another one wrong. The one day I was on here, though, I didn't get a single category. All right. So we're moving on to the next category. Man, you guys just popped in on there. Thanks for clicking those likes. Mike Yost, thanks for the follow over there on TikTok. Appreciate you over there, buddy. All I knew you as was user number. So thanks for doing that over there, bud. Appreciate the follow. See, actually, I don't know if yours is a little bit delayed. I just got yours coming through for senator for vehicle. I was thinking the same thing too. All right, let's move on. What do we got next? This is another hard one. Like I said, the one we did on Wednesday wasn't as bad. What's the next question? It's not really a question. So what this game is all the words on here, they're grouped into 4 different categories. So there's 4 words in each category. We're trying to figure out what the next category is based off the words. They have hints on here you can use, but all it does is it gives you one of the words that's in a specific category as far as the level of difficulty, which really doesn't help anything. Yeah, the second word's dip. And that's what I had. I had duck, dip, dive, and dodge as one. Because I was like, oh, that's way to like maneuver around something. But I wasn't even close. And it wasn't even one off, so they don't even go. Chip, dip, and fry. What, like food? Potato chip, potato dip, potato French dip, French fry. Some of these, it's like once it hits you, you kind of get it and you're like, oh, duh. Well, I thought I had it for a second. French dip, French fly. Anthony, you say Star Rocket Flyer. I love how you all you guys always throw 3 out there. Star Rocket Flyer. Okay, what's the 4th one? I know they feel like they go together, but then it's always that 4th one. It's like, I still don't know what a lark is. Star Rocket Flyer, Scraper. What is that, like things high up in the air? See, I was thinking skyscraper. See, that's where my mind was going as well. Skyscraper. But a lot of times it'll be like, lark is a bird. It is a bird? Okay. I mean, so what? Lark, duck? Is it a flight? Is a flightful bird or is it a flightless bird? Does it fly? I was looking at that lark, duck, wing, and flyer. And here's the thing, Anthony. I'm not saying you're wrong because you might be right. They're usually not paired like that though, like because it's usually like types of bird, right? So it'd be lark, duck, dot, not things that like it's not gonna have to do like flying. Lark is a flying bird. Oh yeah, I see it now. Actually, sorry, yours for is coming through. Skydive, skyscraper, skylark, and skyrocket. Okay, see, I was thinking something sky. Is that the name of it? Oh, Skylark. That was the name of that car I mentioned. Would you say skyscraper, skylark, skydive, skyrocket? I like that. That's a good one. That's it. Sky blank. Good job, Ashley. I think it's just a little bit behind. And it doesn't give me a timestamp on here, so I have no idea when it came through. All right. So we still have chip, dip, and fry still open, available. Wait a minute. So I don't know if you guys were on here. I was talking about NHL. A wing. The Red Wings. That's a hockey team. I'm not. Is there any hockey fans on here? Is the Senators? Wait a minute. Isn't there a team called the Flyers? I know there's a Duck. I know there's. So there is a Senators. I wonder if it's not the Detroit Red Wings. But then how does Jip Philadelphia Flyers? Al, you're right. Yeah. I said that would be chip, wing, dip, and fry. That makes more sense. Ottawa. I knew there was a Senators. I don't watch hockey. I knew some of the team names. That's it. That's hockey teams. Bam. NHL team member. So it's the singular person. And then chip, wing, dip, and fry. Something to do with food. Bit of sports bar fare. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I knew the Ducks. And I knew the Stars, the Dallas Stars. I just wasn't 100% sure about the other one. I almost did wings for Detroit Red Wing. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Welcome back, my wellness warriors. Thank you all for being on here. We're happy to have you back on here on this wonderful Saturday evening. Up to 777 likes over there on TikTok, and we got one new follower. That's not bad. That's a lucky number, 777. We should play the lotto. If I win, I'll give all my proceeds to Little Orphan Annie. So this is our After Dark episode that we do on Fridays or Saturdays, depending on my schedule. It'll definitely be Saturdays for the near future. My youngest plays high school football. He plays varsity for Fort Hill. So our next few Fridays are going to be pretty booked. So we'll be doing these on Saturdays, but after football season's over, we'll probably shift back to Fridays. Still trying to figure out the time on these, but yeah, glad to have you guys back. Typically our Friday or our After Dark episodes will have a guest on. Probably not every week. Like as you can see, I don't have a guest on this week, but we did have Caden Scott Twig, also known as Jay Cinco, on Jay Cinco on last week, and we will more than likely have a guest on for next Saturday for our After Dark episode. I don't know who it's going to be yet. We'll solidify somebody. We'll probably have a guest on next Saturday, so feel free to jump on and check it out. Right now, we've just been kind of looking at some different things. We read a couple articles, one on how to improve your mental health in the workplace. We looked at one that talked about the popularity of thermal springs over that of saunas and the cold plunge that we've talked about on here. And we're going to jump into another quick topic. What do we got here? Oh, okay. We were looking at some of these. I don't want to get too deep into some of these, in all honesty, but here's one. It's an article talking about how study reveals unexpected cause of heart attacks for women under the age of 65. So, interesting. I'll tell you what. Let's I don't feel like reading, and I also pay for a Speechify membership. It helps me with my schoolwork. We're gonna have Speechify read this one, and of course, it's gonna try to make me log in. Bang, 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 bang. I like Speechify, but it is a little glitchy sometimes. I mean, we'll read it if we have to, but I prefer not to. All right, so we should be logged in.
Study reveals unexpected causes of heart attacks for women under 65. Doctors often assume heart attacks in younger people arise from blocked arteries. However, a new study suggests that these heart attacks often have other causes. The researchers noted that this was especially true for younger women. This is important since different treatments are needed for these heart attacks. When doctors think about heart attacks in younger
That's how
people,
fast
they
I
typically
actually
assume the cause is the
read
same as
faster
in
than
older
that.
patients, blocked arteries from cholesterol buildup.
We'll do 1.2.
However,
Sorry,
a
that's my
groundbreaking
fault.
15-year study
That's how
of nearly
fast I usually
3,000 people
read.
ages 65 and under suggests this assumption may be dangerously wrong, particularly for women. The research, published on September 15th in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, found that more than half of heart attacks in younger females stem from causes other than traditional artery blockages. This discovery could revolutionize how emergency rooms diagnose and treat heart attacks in younger patients, potentially saving lives by ensuring that these individuals receive the correct treatment for their condition. Uncovering hidden heart attack causes the study called Octopus. Olmsted cardiac troponin in persons under 66
Octopus.
took a comprehensive approach to understanding heart attacks in younger people. Between 2003 and 2018, researchers tracked every person ages 65 and under in Olmsted County, Minnesota, who had elevated levels of troponin, a protein released when heart muscle is damaged.
Let's pause right there. Just Octopus, really? Like, that's the name you came up with? Like, you couldn't have done any better than that.
Damaged. This method was crucial because it captured heart attacks that might otherwise be missed. Many previous studies only included patients who arrived at hospitals with classic chest pain and obvious heart attack symptoms on their electrocardiograms. By casting a wider net, the Mayo Clinic team found 4,116 troponin-positive events in 2,790 people. Two cardiologists then meticulously reviewed each case, examining medical records, heart imaging, and coronary angiograms, the X-ray movies that show blood flow through heart arteries. When they disagreed on a diagnosis, they brought in additional experts to reach a consensus. This detective work was essential because many non-traditional heart attack causes can look identical to classic blockages on initial examination. The researchers classified each heart attack into 6 distinct categories based on what actually caused the heart muscle damage: traditional artery blockages, atherothrombosis, spontaneous coronary artery dissection, SCAD, blood clots from elsewhere in the body, embolism, artery spasms, supply-demand mismatches, and truly unexplained cases. Find GLP-1 meds and expert care through LifeMD's comprehensive.
See, let's jump down here.
Study reveals
Like I said,
unexpected
it's a
causes
little-
of heart attacks for women under 65.
It's a little glitchy
Doctors often
sometimes,
assume heart
but-
attacks in younger people arise from blocked arteries. However, a new study suggests that these heart attacks often have other causes. The researchers noted that this was especially
Oh,
true for
hold on.
younger women.
Why did it go all the way back up there? That's not what I wanted it to do.
The results revealed
There we
dramatic
go.
gender differences that could reshape emergency medicine. While 75% of heart attacks in younger males were caused by traditional artery blockages, Only 47% of heart attacks in females had this cause. The remaining 53% of heart attacks in females came from other mechanisms. Spontaneous coronary artery dissection, where an artery wall spontaneously tears, was particularly common in women, causing 11% of their heart attacks compared to less than 1% in men. The condition was so frequently missed that 55% of SCAD cases were initially misdiagnosed as either traditional blockages or unexplained heart attacks. Misdiagnosis.
So I'm not really getting a whole lot. There's just a whole lot of technical mumbo jumbo in this article. I mean, it's good information, but I'm not really learning anything. I mean, if you jump down here, signs of heart attack in women. I mean, we already know that women typically don't have the classical signs of heart attack like men do. Typically women will suffer, more mild or moderate pains. Like, as they mentioned here, pain in your jaw, pain in the left side of the jaw, felt in the neck and arm, shortness of breath, sweating, clammy skin. Now, risk factors, if you also smoke, have diabetes, or high blood pressure. Sometimes women can even get headaches. So, I mean, that's already pretty common news. So, yeah, that's really all you get out of that article. I don't know, just a bunch of technical mumbo jumbo. So, it says study reveals unexpected causes of heart attack. What was the unexpected heart attack? On what actually caused the heart muscle damage. Traditional artery blockages, spontaneous coronary artery dissection, blood clots from elsewhere in the body, artery spasms, supply-demand mismatches, and truly unexplained cases. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the headline's kind of misleading. It says fact check. However, a new study suggests these heart attacks often have other causes. Researchers noted that this was especially true for younger women. This is important since different treatments are needed for these heart attacks. I mean, obviously, if it's coming from different reasons, that makes sense. But it's very misleading. This is a very misleading article. It doesn't really give you an unexpected cause of heart attack. I mean, here it talked about the dramatic gender differences. I guess here's what they're saying. 75% of heart attacks in younger males are caused by traditional artery blockages, which is the most common way of having a heart attack. Only 47% of heart attacks in females were from that. The remaining 53 came from the other mechanisms that we were discussed. The spontaneous coronary artery dissection, the SCAD. There's other ones up top. That's what women typically experience them from other things. An artery wall spontaneously tears was particularly common in women, causing 11% of their heart attacks compared to less than 1% in men. So I guess what they're saying is probably more one of the causes is a tear in the artery wall spontaneously. Okay. Just a little bit. I feel like that's really loud. I could be wrong. Yeah, that's kind of throwing me off a little bit. Let's bring Nova back in. Nova, we were just reviewing an article from Healthline.com that talked about unexpected causes of heart attacks for women under the age of 65. And basically it was saying in here that 11% of heart attacks came from a condition known as spontaneous coronary artery dissection, also known as SCAD, where an artery wall spontaneously tears. What is that something that's hereditary, or is that something that person is doing wrong in their lifestyle?
Yeah, SCAD is a really interesting and somewhat lesser known cause of heart attacks, especially in younger women. It's not necessarily about lifestyle at all. In fact, SCAD often occurs in people who don't have traditional risk factors like high cholesterol or smoking. It can sometimes be linked to things like hormonal changes, certain connective tissue disorders, or even intense physical or emotional stress. So it's not usually about what someone's doing wrong in their lifestyle. It's more of a rare and spontaneous condition, and it can have a genetic component in some cases. So definitely an important topic to bring awareness to, especially for folks who might not have heard of it before.
Okay, so I feel a little bit better. I feel like we learned something there, because at first it felt like the article was very misleading. So I do feel a little bit better now. Okay. All right, cool. All right, let's jump into our next game. Our connections wasn't too bad. We had some help. Appreciate Ashley was on here helping us, and we had the boys on, and Mike Yossi jumped in to help us as well. We appreciate the help. We give shout outs when we get help. We don't do this alone. We are all students of wellness. As I've said before with this channel, yes, this is my channel. I have a passion for wellness, but I do not claim to be an expert on any of these things. I am pretty knowledgeable on a lot of different things, but I'm here to learn just like the rest of you. So yeah, we learn together. So let's play our daily word salad. All right, so word salads. If you've never seen these before, there's words scrambled up in here. We have to tie them all together. The category is types of trap. I feel like we had this before. Maybe it wasn't trap. That sounds familiar though. We have seven words on here. It tells you how many letters each word is, and it doesn't tell you this, but the words are actually in alphabetical order. So the first one I see obviously is mousetrap. So these other four words are going to start with letters before the letter M. And only words that only letters that you don't need anymore are the ones that disappear. So these can be challenging sometimes. We've gotten through these pretty quickly sometimes, and I've had another one took me over half an hour because this puzzle does time you. All right, so types of trap: mouse trap, bear trap. I'm pretty sure we had this category though. That sounds very familiar. Yeah, they trap. All right. What's that 7-letter word? Nose trap. Rust trap. Did we say nose? Yeah, we said nose. Death trap. Almost didn't even see that one. Rust trap. Where we already did rust. A yay trap. Trap. So we got a 4 and a 5 letter. So it could really begin with H. Well, H is really it. Other than a vowel H, we got A, I, and E. H before M. Okay, so it's probably going to... and it can't be A or E. Well, it could be E. It could be I. But typically, these don't start with vowels. I mean, occasionally you're going to have a word that starts with a vowel. But, so I'm definitely thinking H, heart attack. Or no, duh. That's attack, not a trap. What about heat? Heat trap? What's a heat trap? I don't like that sometimes that they do that. That's not a common thing. What is a heat trap? The other one's going to start with an H as well. 5-letter word. House trap. I mean, we have house. Host trap. And it's going to be a 5-letter word. What about thirst? Thirst trap. That was a good one. That's a good guess. Some of these, sometimes they just kind of throw out at you, which means the last one's going to either start with a T or a Y. I keep coming back to house trap. House, but it's not. Host trap. Hey, trap. A tur trap. Trap house. I did house. So I was thinking the same thing you were, Ashley. Tell me I'm spelling this right. House. House. And it would go right there. What are these other two? Like I said, I'm thinking the last one either begins with a T. It could begin with a Y. But I don't know many 7-letter words begin with a Y. Tea house. Tea house. The then house. The hen house. Oh wait, that's trap. No. Then trap. They trap. Is it a trap? ISO trap. Ooh, isn't that a thing? That's like a sports maneuver. ISO, like isolate. A Sony trap. Tones trap. I'm really struggling with this other H because it has to be H. It can't be anything else. House is the only thing that's throwing like jumping out at me too. It's not going to be HT, HS, HE, Hezer, no. Heo, no. Haunted. Oh, no. I keep coming back to house. I was going to say haunted. Trap. Honey trap. What the heck's a honey trap? Now I'm almost positive. We had this category the other day. I still don't know what a honey trap is. Let's figure out this last one. And then we have tourist trap. Not bad. 7 minutes. All right. Let's bring Nova back in. Just because I don't feel like Googling it. Hey, Nova, we just finished playing a game of word salad, and we had a... it's not showing it. But anyway, so we had a couple things. The category was types of trap. First off, what is a honey trap?
A honey trap is basically a form of deception where someone uses romantic or sexual attraction to lure another person into a compromising situation. It's often talked about in the context of espionage or undercover operations, where someone might be seduced or manipulated into giving up information. So it's basically a trap that uses the allure of romance as bait.
Okay, didn't know that one. All right, what's a heat trap?
Yeah, absolutely. So a heat trap is a little different. It usually refers to something that's designed to prevent heat loss or to keep heat from a system. For example, in plumbing, a heat trap can be used to keep hot water from flowing the wrong way and cooling down. It can also refer to anything that helps retain heat in a particular area, like insulation or even certain architectural designs that keep a building warm. So it's basically a way to trap heat where you want it and not let it escape.
Okay, cool. If you say so, I'll take your word for it. I mean, that makes sense. The honey trap, I've never even heard of that term. So, all right. Whatever. So we're having fun over here. We're going to review a couple more things. So far today, we've talked about how to improve your wellness within the workplace. We've talked about the rising industry of thermal springs in the world of wellness. And we also did a brief review on unexpected causes of heart attacks in women under the age of 65. So Nova kind of helped us out because the article was not very, I don't want to say it wasn't very, it was very scholarly written. And I mean, I consider myself a pretty intelligent person, but sometimes all I see is just mumbo jumbo. I see jargon and I'm just like, what is this even saying? I will say that is where Nova exceeds. She's really good at help, at least for this idiot over here. She's good at helping me understand what it is I'm reading. All right. The next one, I did kind of see this one. I didn't read the full thing. It's talking about the 3x3 rule. It's talking about, doing certain things of wellness in thirds. And so yeah, I thought we could check this one out. Basically it says like the key points are the 3x3 rule encourages taking 3,000 steps, drinking a third of your daily water intake, and consuming 30 grams of protein all before noon. Yeah, that does seem like a lot. Doing these habits early can help boost energy, build routine, and support your daily wellness. The rule is flexible. Your movement, water, and protein needs may differ based on individual factors. So, I mean, I guess the only question is like, when you say 3x3 rule, does that mean like you're breaking your day up into thirds? I mean, because it's not an unrealistic goal. I'll tell you, while we're kind of reading this, we'll bring Nova back on. Because what is the daily water intake? Isn't it like a gallon of water a day is what the average person is supposed to drink?
Yeah, the daily water intake recommendation is one of those guidelines that you hear a lot about, and it can vary a bit depending on the source. The common advice is around 8-ounce glasses of water a day, which is about 2 liters or half a gallon, often known as the 8x8 rule. But really, it can depend on your body size, activity level, the climate you live in, even the kinds of foods you eat. Some people might need more, some might need a little less. It's more about staying hydrated and listening to your body than hitting an exact number every day.
So I was way over. I said a gallon, so you're saying half a gallon. So, okay. So drinking a third of your water, so that would be, what, 64 divided by 3 is like, what, 20, 21, 22-ish. So 22 ounces of water, that's nothing. By noon, 30 grams of protein. If you eat a protein-filled breakfast with a protein shake, you can hit 30 grams of protein before noon. And then the 3,000 steps, that kind of depends on how sedentary your lifestyle is or while you're at work. When I have class, I'm on my feet all day, so I move 3,000 steps easily by lunch. I have a standing desk, so I'm moving back and forth, and so it kind of counts some of those as steps. I definitely think the 3x3 rule is doable. So no, but what it's saying here is this new trend is taking 3,000 steps, drinking a third of your water, and consuming 30 grams of protein all before noon.
Exactly. You've got it. The 3x3 rule is pretty straightforward and, as you said, definitely doable for most people. Hitting about 22 ounces of water by noon is too daunting, especially if you just have a water bottle handy. And if you're having a protein-focused breakfast or a protein shake, that 30 grams of protein is pretty easy to knock out early in the day. And yeah, the steps definitely depend on your routine. If you're moving around a lot, that's just a natural part of your morning. So overall, it's kind of a nice, flexible guideline that gets people thinking about hydration, protein, and a little bit of movement first thing in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think it's going to like totally change your life. But if you're someone who's maybe not doing a whole lot, as far as wellness goes. It's a nice kickstart, and it's manageable. Right? Maybe I was looking at it from someone who's relatively healthy. Maybe this is more for the person who really struggles. Because here's what it says. It says, does it work? On the surface, all three of the habits outlined in the 3x3 rule can be beneficial for your overall health. Plus, prioritizing them in the morning may be helpful to help you build momentum in your day, especially if you have a busier schedule in the afternoons or evenings. For starters, walking is a great form of light exercise, and getting in the habit of daily walks might be your best bet to reap the benefits. Research suggests that aerobic physical activity, such as walking, should preferably be spread throughout the week, and walking at least 3 days a week produces health benefits and may help reduce your risk of injury. While 10,000 steps is a daily common goal, even adding 2,000 to 4,000 steps to your day can lead to meaningful benefits. Completing 3,000 steps before noon can help you feel more accomplished and can make it easier for you to continue to increase your step count throughout the day if that is your goal. Okay.
Yeah, you're spot on. It's not some magic bullet that's going to revolutionize your life overnight, but it's definitely a manageable little kickstart, especially for someone who's just getting into the groove of building healthier habits. And it makes sense that focusing on a few small, consistent morning habits can help set a positive tone for the rest of the day. Plus, for someone who might not have a lot of time later on, knocking out those basics in the morning can really help them feel like they're already on track. So yeah, it's all about those small, doable steps that can build a bit of momentum.
All right, cool. Thanks, Nova. We'll talk to you again here soon. All right. All right. I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting kind of tired. We're still gonna finish up. We're gonna play our game of Contexto, and we have one more little read that we're gonna check into, which is different. I mean, we didn't do any video reviews, which I do like to do, but I didn't mind doing the whole article review, and that won't be our every stream or every Saturday thing. But I did like kind of shifting and just kind of reading something a little bit different. No, we were at the Fort Hill game last night up in Southern. So it wasn't that we got home super late. We got back in town a little after 10. I had to pick Channing up from the high school, drop him off. So I didn't get to bed till about 11. See, can't stop yawning. But then we had to get up early for Pee Wee football. And then I had to come home because I had a bunch of schoolwork I had to do. I had a paper I had to write. I had a test I had to take. Discussion post. So I haven't really stopped today. So when I'm done here, I'm probably going to be about ready for bed. But let's get into our next fun game. If we have any viewers still on here, we're going to pop back on. We're going to play our last game for the night, Contexto. I know y'all like that one. And this one can be tough. If you haven't seen Contexto yet, Contexto is a game where it does not give you any hints. There is hints built into it that you can use. It doesn't give you any categories. You just guess and try to get as close to the word as you can. You get as many hint guesses as you want, at least as far as I know you do. So we're going to stick with what we know. I always like to stick with dog. All right, dog is 1,062 off. So it may or may not be an animal. Probably not. Fish. Ooh. Whoa. Whoa. I know we've only been playing this game for a short period of time, but that is the closest. 5. Fish at 5. So, I mean, it has to be a type of fish. Shark? No. Tuna? Maybe it's not a type of fish. Let's try chicken. No. I mean, it has to be fish. It has to be fish. Seafood. Wow, I can't believe we got to 5 already. I don't even know what we haven't guessed a whole lot of words. I don't even really know where to go with that. Food? No, not food. Ocean. Ocean was 7. Water. So shark. Shark, water, ocean, fish puts us there. I mean, is it a type of fish? Like a bass? Trout? Salmon? It's not a type of fish. Unless it's saying like fishing, to fish, bait. I don't think fishing. Yeah, see, fishing and fish is the same. Hook. I mean, grouper. You know what I mean? Like sardine. I know shrimp's not a fish, but shrimp. I don't know if we have anybody on here with us. I'm gonna bring Nova back on. No, I will tell you Nova's not very good at these games, but we'll bring her back on, see if she can help us out a little bit. Nova, we're over here playing a game of Contexto, and within our first 3 guesses, we got fish with a score of 5. So, I mean, so that's really, really close. But we don't really know which way to go. So here, as of right now, our top 5 answers, going the lower the number, the closer it is to the word. Seafood is at 112. Shark is 19. Water is 17. Ocean is 7. And fish is 5.
It sounds like you're playing around with a little word puzzle there. If water is 7, ocean is 7, and fish is 5, maybe you're counting letters and adding a little twist. But hey, if you want to let me in on the pattern, just let me know. It's always fun to solve a little riddle.
Well, the pattern is it's trying to figure out the word, the secret word, and it tells you how close you are based off of the words you're guessing. So it's not going to be the numbers of letters.
Got it. So it's more like a word guessing game where those numbers are clues to how close you are to the secret word.
Correct.
Almost like a word version of a hot. No worries. That makes total sense. It's kind of like you're playing a word guessing warmer and colder game. If you ever want me to help crack the code or just bounce ideas around, I'm here for it.
Hey, we are open. Our ears are open. We got it as close as I think we can get.
Well, that's awesome. Sounds like you've definitely cracked the puzzle as much as you can. And hey, it's always fun to dive into these little word games. If you've got any more puzzles or just want to chat through anything else, just let me know.
Yeah. Well, thanks for not throwing out any guesses there, Nova. Yeah, we got 5 within the first 3 guesses. And I've made some other stuff to try to figure out what it is. I was thinking like a type of fish, but none of those answers are even close. The closest one was salmon.
Hey, happy to be the sounding board, Tim. It sounds like you've gotten pretty far with those clues if you've already got 5 right out of the gate. Sometimes those last couple pieces just need a little extra tinkering. And hey, salmon is close. Maybe you're in the right ballpark with something fishy, but not quite on the nose. Either way, you've got this. Let me know if you want to bounce any more ideas around.
Do you notice how she keeps not giving me any guesses? I don't think Nova likes playing these games either.
Haha, well, fair enough. I'm definitely here to throw out guesses if you want me to, but I can also happily stay on the sidelines and just cheer you on. So just let me know if you want me to jump into the game, or if you're good with me being your puzzle-solving backup. Either way, I'm here for it.
I don't need a cheerleader right now. Give me a couple guesses.
Absolutely. Let's dive in and guess together. If salmon was your closest guess so far, maybe we can try something else fish related or something that feels similar. How about we guess trout or tuna and see if that gets us any warmer? Let's give those a shot and see what happens.
So we had already done tuna and trout. Trout came in at 317. Tuna came in at 281. So it's definitely I don't think it's a type of fish.
I see. So we've got some clues from those guesses. If trout got you 3 correct letters and tuna got a couple as well, it might be that we're looking for a word that's related to water or marine life, but not necessarily a fish itself. Let's think of it broader. We could try a word like oyster or maybe coral, something else ocean related that isn't a fish. We'll see if that gets us any closer. Let's give that a shot.
Ooh. Oh, actually, that was a good guess there at Nova. Oyster was at 70, but coral got us closer. Coral is 4.
Nice. We're definitely zeroing in then. If coral got you a 4, that means we're
Yeah.
really close to cracking this. Let's think of something in that same oceanic zone that might share letters with coral. Maybe we could try atoll or algae and see if that hits the mark.
What the
We're
heck is
definitely on the right neighborhood
algae?
now.
You mean algae? So we're
yes.
definitely in the ocean. It's not about how many letters are correct, Nova. It's just trying to guess the word. The number it gives you is this. It basically is kind of like AI generated a score of how close you are to the word.
I see what you mean. Thanks for the clarification. So it's more like a proximity score than a letter matching thing.
Exactly.
In that case, if coral got you. Got it. That makes perfect sense. So we're just honing in on the right ocean themed words step by step. If coral got us that close, let's try a couple more guesses in the same vein. Maybe something like reef or kelp could get us even closer. We'll keep narrowing it down.
Reef is at 2.
Awesome. So reef got us a 2. That means we're definitely getting a better sense of the word. If we take that into account, we're likely dealing with something in that ocean or marine realm that's a bit different. Let's try, I guess, like shell or maybe a wave and see if that brings us closer. We're definitely on the right track.
Nope. Shell and wave, they're still in the green, but they're further down. They're in the 130s. So our top 5 answers are water at 17, ocean at 7, fish at 5, coral at 4, and reef at 2. So we're the next closest is the answer. So reef, think coral and reef.
Got it. That's a really solid set of clues. So we know we're looking for something closer to coral and reef. Let's think about other reef related or coral related words that might fit. How about we try lagoon or maybe even atoll again? We're definitely in the right marine neighborhood, so let's give one of those a shot.
Lagoon is 12. What was the one you said? Atoll? What is it? How do you spell that?
Sure thing. Atoll is spelled A-T-O-L-L. It's basically a ring-shaped coral reef or a series of coral islands. So let's see if atoll gets us any closer to that final answer.
That was the answer, atoll. I would have never guessed that. How many people in the world know what an atoll is? The answer was atoll.
Yay, nice work. Honestly, atoll is definitely one of those words that's a bit of a hidden gem. Not everyone will have it on the tip of their tongues. So you did a great job working through those clues. And hey, now you've got a fun new marine word in your vocabulary. So well done. And if you ever need another puzzle buddy, you know where to find me.
Thanks, Nova. So I'd say she isn't always good at these games, but sometimes she helps. I would have never guessed atoll. We're gonna figure out what is an atoll. Let's go over here to YouTube. Oh, we can review a video while we're here. Like I said, I'm getting a little tired, but I'm not like in a hurry to get off of here. I think we got too much stuff open though. It's just acting a little slow. Doesn't see anything's wrong with our stream health though. But here's the thing, and this is what's a little frustrating. So I've told you all a couple times, like TikTok will all of a sudden I'll get those inactive things. I've been on here for an hour and 43 minutes live, and it hasn't popped up on my live once where I have to slide this little puzzle piece over. Doesn't make any sense. Right. Atoll. Birth of an atoll. How an atoll is. I don't need to do a long video. So an atoll is a piece of land? It's not even an animal? Well, I guess that we were talking reef and coral. Let's do this one. This one looks cartoonish.
Across the world, from Australia to the shores of Belize, coral reefs come in different shapes and sizes. One type of reef, most often found in the Pacific Ocean, tells a fascinating story about evolution and geologic time.
I like the
It's
music.
called an atoll.
Atoll.
When we say time, we mean big time. It can take up to 30 million years to create an atoll. Here's how it happens.
So it's a type of reef.
An atoll begins with an underwater volcano called a seamount. As it erupts, it spills lava, which hardens as it meets the water. Over time, and many eruptions, the seamount grows until it rises above the water. Now, it's officially an island. As the centuries tick by, the volcano goes dormant. Underwater, the hardened lava becomes a home for all sorts of creatures, including corals.
You would have never guessed that. Yeah.
As the
I'd
corals
never heard
grow,
of an
They
atoll.
form a fringing reef around the island. Fringing reefs grow directly from a shore. They're the most common type
I'm guessing
of
it's my
reefs.
stream because your comment just came through, and that
Over
was like a
time,
couple minutes ago.
the
I feel
reef
like I think my
continues
stream is
to
just really
evolve.
slow on
The
YouTube.
island, this dormant volcano, can start sinking, weighed down by the heavy reef and rock. As the island sinks, the corals remain, growing upwards. Eventually, a wide band of water called a lagoon forms between the reef and the land.
Okay, that's pretty
The
cool
fringing
looking.
reef has become a barrier reef.
That's what a barrier reef.
Millennia keep spinning by. The extinct volcano is now completely submerged, but the corals are still growing. As they break the surface of the water, they die, and their stony skeletons turn into sand and rubble mixed with coral and algae. Now, a coral rim surrounds a central lagoon. The reef has changed.
There's like land
yet
all the way
again
around, and then where the
into
sunken
an
volcano
atoll.
is. That's cool. I'd never even heard of this. I remember learning about these in geography
When there are
class.
gaps in the coral rim, the surrounding ocean flows in and out of the lagoon. New reefs can form inside the lagoon, called patch reefs. In the warm, shallow lagoon waters of atolls, coral reefs flourish. And so do the many kinds of animals who make them their home.
That was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I did not know what an atoll was. So hey, that's what we do on this channel. We learn something new every day. Atoll. All right. The last thing I wanted to look at, it's not even really so much an article. Just kind of letting everyone know that apparently September is Self-Care Awareness Month. So yeah, not really much of an article. I always thought September was Suicide Awareness Month. Here's there's like so many different months out there. Like there's probably 3 or 4 designations for every month. There's a certain designation every day. Like there's probably a national, off the top of my head, there's probably a national peanut butter and jelly sandwich day. So, but yes, apparently, which is kind of fitting if September is Suicide Awareness Month, it kind of makes sense. It's also Self-Care Awareness Month. So makes sense. I like it. But, hey. Cool. Do we want to try out any other games before we head off? I don't know. That mindgames.com, they have some pretty cool stuff on here, but I think I want to explore a little bit on my own. Well, maybe. I do like number games. We can do a number game before we log off. We usually do Sudoku. I wasn't going to do Sudoku. And I don't have my number pad. My keyboard, my wireless keyboard died. It has my number pad on the side. I like using that when I'm typing numbers. I just have to go get batteries for it. I have my gaming keyboard here, which I like for typing on, but it doesn't have a keypad next to it. Yeah, let's do this one. Yeah, every time I was giving guesses for the games, you seem to get them really late. Yeah, I think my stream is a little bit behind, and it's just I was working on schoolwork earlier, and I had it minimized. I think I just had way too much stuff open, and I think that's why. So it's been like trying to play catch up. So, but I'm glad you're on here. I appreciate it. All right, find all numbers in ascending order. First click on 1, then on 2, and so on until you reach 100. What? Whoa, no, I don't want to add anything. Play games faster on Chrome. No, I don't want to do all that. Find the number. We should have an ad.
Are you ready to own it? For that perfect fitting, goal scoring, bring the moves, hit the trail, super crafty kind of day? Every Hydro Flask is designed to perfection and all in for everything. We make it, you own it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know anything about this game. Find the number. We're going to start easy just because we don't know what it is. Can we turn the sound off? Let's I don't want any music. I mean it was cool and all, but we already got music going on back here. Let's put it in full screen mode just so we can see it better. I wonder if you guys can see it from... Yeah. All right. Wait a minute. So I just have to find the number. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's all. That's all I have to do. There's a difficulty, I guess. I mean, I guess because you're kind of like trying to scan it in your time, so you want to try to do it quickly. I see 7 and 8 already. I saw 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. I see 11, 12. I thought I saw 10. National PBJ Day is 4/2/26. Did you just look that up or did you already know that? 10, 11, 12. 13, 14. I will say, I mean, this isn't super difficult. If you have a good memory, like if you're good at playing the game memory, you remember where things are at. It's not too bad. But like, I feel like I'm trying to race against the clock. 15. I saw 16 and 17. Where'd they go? There's 17, 19. I could definitely see this being more difficult with more numbers. 16, 17, 19's here. We need 18. I will say they all kind of lump together too a little bit. And this is easy. This is on easy. There's 81. Where's 18? I see 20. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22, 23. There's 25. Man, this kind of hurts my eyes a little bit. I'm not going to lie. All right. 24. Where'd 25 go? I lost it. See, it does kind of, I mean, it's different. I noticed to turn the sound back on. Or no, that's the sound I had from before. Okay, no, we're not going to finish it. I'm not going to lie, that game's kind of hurt my eyes. But that's cool. I mean, that's different if you were into that kind of thing. If I wasn't, I think, you know, if we had a little bit more time, we could probably roll with that one. But it was different. It was different. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight's episode of BBW After Dark. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Yeah, we'll be back on Monday for some more Monday motivation. 8 o'clock, probably be about the time. We'll kind of keep it pretty consistent with 8 p.m. Earlier if possible. I will tell you, it's just 8 o'clock's a good time for me, because if I go out and if I do deliveries, I'm home by 8. Any earlier than that, I'm really pushing it. If I'm doing schoolwork, I'm kind of still doing schoolwork earlier. So 8 o'clock's probably a good time for me on Mondays and Wednesdays. And we'll figure out our Saturdays. But yeah. So that's it for tonight's deep dive on workplace stress, to different viral trends that we've looked at. Good stuff. It's clear that wellness is definitely not a one size fits all. We all have to find our own little ways around life. Around here, we keep it honest, a little weird, and always off brand and on point. So until next time, stay wonderful, stay weird, and always make it work. Your wellness. I'll see you guys on Monday.